Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Let's talk about Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax of Virginia. We told you yesterday that Suffolk County District Attorney there in Boston, Massachusetts, says and if that Dr. Vanessa Tyson, the woman who was accused Fairfax of forcing her to have oral sex, if she will file a complaint, that the DA will be willing to investigate the case. Tyson's camp now says she plans on meeting with the district attorney. Now, again, according to her office, she's reached out to the DA to schedule a time in order for the staff to hear from Dr. Tyson. Again, the DA says that if Tyson makes a criminal complaint, her office will start an investigation. Now, the Washington Post reports that Tyson's lawyers did not say whether or not Tyson will file a criminal complaint. This is what we received a statement from the office of Justin Fairfax. It was reported, quote, the lieutenant governor has stated repeatedly that he has never sexually assaulted anyone ever. He has called publicly for a fair and partial investigation. He has nothing to hide. In that event, the lieutenant governor will explore all options with regard to filing his own criminal complaint in response to the filing of a false criminal complaint against him. Tyson's lawyer, Deborah Katz, called that statement, quote, a clear effort to obstruct justice. Let's go back to our panel. Greg Carr, first, I don't know how they can say it's obstructing justice because if Tyson files a complaint, Fairfax has the legal right to file his own complaint. And so I understand their sentiment. That's not actually obstructing justice. But if Tyson does move forward, well, let's actually examine this from two different ways. First, if Tyson doesn't file a criminal complaint, but her lawyers have already said she wants to testify in an impeachment hearing, the question has to be asked, why would you testify or why would you go forward in an impeachment hearing but not go forward with a criminal complaint? Second point, if she does file a criminal complaint, what you now have is Fairfax, you now have an open investigation that is also different from the impeachment. Impeachment, he potentially could lose his job. A criminal complaint, he could be indicted, charged, indicted, found guilty. And so you have different things that are going on here, Greg.
Absolutely. I think probably the best thing for the lieutenant governor would be and is becoming the DA in Suffolk County. DA Rollins, a black woman, by saying if you file a complaint, we will investigate. That is giving a measure of legitimacy, a measure of process, and something that, as you say, would be the natural course. Now, of course, Attorney Katz is doing what a zealous attorney would do. She's trying to win a battle in the court of public opinion. Justin Fairfax is fighting for his political life, but as you say, he might be fighting for his freedom. But if, as we know, if it is as he contends, that he did nothing wrong or he did not commit this act in the way it was been described by Dr. Tyson, the best thing for him is the district attorney in Suffolk County, and we'll see how this works out.
Teresa, let's play this out. Let's say Tyson files his criminal complaint. Let's say the district attorney investigate and there's insufficient evidence to move forward. That would seem like a win for Fairfax. And then it would then call in the question that if a DA couldn't find any evidence, then how could you even go forward with any kind of impeachment hearing?
Exactly. So the scenario you just laid out, Roland, I think that is the right approach. If I was working as the Director of Communications for Justice Fairfax right now, I would definitely go into the that narrative of going into the investigation portion, despite what happens for his freedom and for his political career. Honestly, if I'm Justin Fairfax, I'm not worried about my political career, because anything that is taglined right now with sexual harassment, sexual assault right now in the media is not looking good for your political future in the next 5 to 10 years. So what I would suggest is he tried to clear his name first and then allow the political response to happen post it. But I think, like you said before, it is a bit concerning that Dr. Tyson is not looking to file any criminal charges It just really is interesting on that front. But I'm sure she has her reasons. But like you said, public opinion is the defining factor in this case. So again, if I'm a part of the Lieutenant Governor's office, I would probably say, hey, let's hold a full-fledged investigation to prove the innocence.
Shannon, obviously you've had Democrats and Republicans calling for Justin Fairfax to resign. We've had Teresa and Greg on this show discussing these issues. Just from your vantage point, do you believe that Fairfax should resign based upon the accusations, or do you believe there should be a full investigation, whether by the DA there in Boston or even by another investigative body?
That's a tough one. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to discount the supposed victims. But if he honestly did not do it, then he needs to make that clear. But if he did, and he's just doing this to be able to hold on to his freedom and save whatever pieces of his political career he can, that's a tough one. Like I said, these women coming forward, having gone through something like this and to be willing to share it publicly if it actually happened, is almost like reliving it. So to discount them is not exactly the correct thing if it indeed did happen.
But here's the piece. How do you get to the truth if they don't have to further explain? Because
well, I don't think you can.
Just right. You have in statements where Meredith Watson, who accused Fairfax of raping her at Duke in 2000, her lawyers say she doesn't want to, in the media attention, she doesn't want to go any further. But in their statement, they called for him to resign. So and I totally understand your point, but it's a little hard to say I want justice, but I'm not going to say anything because just believe my statement that I've already given. Whereas if you're Fairfax, should you not have a right to cross-examine your accusers?
Again, it's a difficult thing because if these women did actually go through this, they are reliving it publicly. Yeah. And that's a very difficult place. As someone that's done counseling for survivors
reliving it publicly, but reliving it publicly is also the result of when you come out publicly and make the accusation.
True. That is true. I've seen cases where there was a family that I had to deal with. There was a man that had done some things or was accused of doing some things, and another woman didn't come forward until this man was about to be granted custody of a young girl. And she said, listen, I can't let that happen. I don't want to get out there in front of it like that, but I need you to understand this is what he did to me, and I don't want to see him do that to someone else. And there's a difference between coming forward because you want to protect someone else than if you just come forward because you want spotlight. So that's why I'm saying it's a difficult choice, because if this actually happened, that's happening again for them.
Yeah, and race and gender are so commingled in here. And for those who are watching, I think that it's clear there's been no more nuanced and sophisticated conversation of this unfolding story than right here in Roland Martin Unfiltered. I would encourage people to go back over the last several days and since this story broke to listen to the fact. And it's exactly as Pastor Rice says, it's a torturous situation. And as I say, Justin Fairfax, Dr. Tyson, and the third accuser, the best thing for this entire situation is to get these criminal complaints filed, have an investigation, and move forward, because it's not just black men, it's black women. There's no Me Too movement that transcends race. And so these black women are being drugged, these black men are being drugged, and the black community really doesn't have a position other than let's try to get at an accurate assessment of what happened. And the stuff in the legislature, that's pure politics. It has nothing to do with the truth. It's all politics.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Calling all HBCU alumni, students, as well as leaders. Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities, and they are offering up a $25,000 mobility challenge grant. Now, here's the winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement their proposal. The deadline to apply, folks, is March 31st, 2019. We want you to go to FGB.Life, FGB.Life for more information and to apply. Don't forget, the deadline is March 31st, 2019, and Ford goes further in our community. And we certainly thank Ford Cares for being a partner here at Roland Martin Unfiltered and for them supporting HBCUs. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.